Hello, Internet! I'm Elliot the Purple Air Doofus, and welcome to Buddy Reads, where I read a small selection of a book and review it for you. Today we are covering chapters 1 and 2 of part 5 of The Dark Tower by Stephen King. I hope you've read up to that point yourself, because I do not want to ruin anything for you. So we have Roland, Susanna, Patrick, and Stuttering Bill, all in the stables. And Stuttering Bill says, I will take you as far as I can to get to the Dark Tower. And Roland says, thank you, Si, that would be great for you. So Bill takes them as close to the Dark Tower as he can. And the whole time, Susanna is being dragged along, and she says to herself, I don't want this to end. Every step we get closer, I feel like we're getting closer to my death. I feel like if I get to the Dark Tower with Roland, I'm going to die. And she has to take breaks and go into the bushes and cry because she is so terrified of dying because of Roland's quest for the Dark Tower. After they have abandoned Bill, they are walking along. One night, Susanna is awake, standing guard or sitting guard or however you want to say it, and Patrick starts drawing her. And Patrick draws a beautiful portrait of her bust. Not her bust, but like her bust. And she is so happy. She's so amazed by his beautiful drawing of her. And then she notices the blemish that she has on the corner of her lip, the one that could be cancerous. And she says, this is beautiful, but this part right here, this, can you do something about this? Patrick doesn't understand, and she actually pulls an eraser from the jar of erasers, and she has to show him how to use it in the air. And then he slowly starts erasing the mark from the photo, or from the drawing. And as he's erasing, she is going mad with itching sensations that are just building and just destroying her lip right there, until he erases it completely and draws it as if she had never had that blemish. She brings her hand up to her lip and it's gone. And she says, this is amazing. This is perfect. This is everything I've always wanted. Well, and then she has this brilliant idea. She's like, Patrick, could you draw something for me? And she has him draw the door from her dreams. I don't think I mentioned that dream. She dreamed another dream of Eddie and Jake in New York during Christmas time being all happy and stuff. And they are telling her that she has a path to get home. And behind them, she sees a door from the Cave of Wonders from Wolves of Kala. And so she has Patrick draw the door. And Roland wakes up and he leans over to find out what's going on. Susanna looks at the picture and she says, this is beautiful. This is perfect. And she lowers it and she's disappointed that the door isn't there. And she's like, why isn't it there? He's drawn a perfect representation of the door. Why isn't it there? And then Roland tells her that Patrick has to put context into the picture. So Patrick starts drawing the cart that she was riding in next to the door. And all of a sudden, there comes the door. And it's in real life right in front of them. And Susanna can't be happier. This is her escape. This is her way out. And Roland says, you want to leave me? And Susanna says, yes. I want to leave you. I need to leave you. This has been your quest, not mine. And every step that we get closer, I just feel my death getting closer and closer. I need to get away from you, Roland. You are going to be the death of me. And Roland starts really distressing. He's like, you don't know what's beyond that door. You don't know if it actually goes home. It could just put you into Todash. It could just put you into nothing. You don't know. Susanna's like, I have to try. I have to get away from you. Roland says, okay, but you didn't let others get a chance. And she asks Patrick if he wants to go, and Patrick actually writes on a piece of paper, don't know what's beyond the door, know what's here, want to stay with what is known, something like that. And then Roland says, what about Oi? And Susanna asks Oi sweetly if he would like to go, and she says, you might see Jake. You might see Eddie. And Oi goes, Ake? Eddie? And it's the first time that he's spoken in months. And he's like, Ake! Eddie! Ake! Eddie! And then he goes to the door, and he sniffs at it. And he walks over to Roland. And he kind of nudges his head on Oland. And Susanna realizes that Oi doesn't want to go either. And Roland says, look, even Oi can see that there's something wrong with this door. Do not do this. This is suicide. This is stupid. Don't do this. Susanna says, open the door for me. And Roland actually gets down on his knees and starts to beg Susanna to stay. Susanna tells him to stand up because she doesn't want the last time that she sees Roland to be down on his knees begging for her to stay. She says, please open the door for me. And Roland goes over and opens the door, and on the other side is the Christmas landscape that she has been dreaming of. And she slowly goes through, and Roland says, wait! And the door closes. She doesn't stop, she doesn't look back, she just goes all the way through. And Roland collapses in grief in front of the door. Now, when Jake and Eddie died, I didn't really cry, because their deaths were telegraphed. Their deaths were, Stephen King had told us that they were going to be dead. When Susanna left, it's complete waterworks. Nothing but waterworks. And I think it's because, death has a finality to it. Death is there's absolutely no opportunity for them to come back from death. But if you make the choice to leave, it's gonna burn with Roland forever the opportunity that Susanna might come back into his life. And that's gonna suck for him. And I know that feeling. I know it real hard. The next section starts with Mordred. And Mordred is looking over Roland, and he's watching Susanna go through the door. And he's kind of chuckling darkly about Roland's grief. And he's wanting to go destroy Roland. He's wanting so much to go destroy Roland. And Red Daddy in his head is telling him to wait. And if you didn't pick up on it yet, Red Daddy is definitely the Crimson King. Red Daddy says, wait for your moment. You will have a moment. Wait for it. Then go. And so Mordred waits. And he watches Roland all night. Because Roland has decided that he is going to stand watch all night. Since this is the last night before he reaches the tower. He will reach the tower tomorrow. And Roland gets really close to sunrise, and he says, I need at least 1, maybe 2 hours of sleep. That's it. And he goes and he wakes up Patrick. And he has to shake him awake, and he has to, continually tell him what he wants to do, and eventually he gets the idea to sit Patrick down and have him start drawing. Because drawing will keep Patrick awake. And so Patrick is drawing, Mordred is watching, and Roland goes to sleep. And Mordred is slowly dying, or in pain, or sick somehow. And all he wants to do is let the spider out. Let the spider out and kill Roland. And he's right on the precipice of letting the spider out. And then Red Daddy says, wait, I have an idea. And there's a shift in the tone of the tower. And the feelings of the tower kind of shift from tenseness to relaxation. The Crimson King puts out his voice into everyone's mind in the area and starts singing a lullaby, which obviously puts Patrick to sleep. And then Red Daddy says, go! And Mordred goes. He changes. He goes closer and closer to the campsite, and Roland is asleep, and he is woken by screams of pain. And he's like, I recognize that voice. What is that voice? Oi! And Oi is being eaten by Mordred. And Roland says, you put my pet down, or I will put you down. Oi is still trying to wrench his back and his neck any way that he can to eat Mordred. Mordred snaps Oi's spine. Roland loses it, and he kills Mordred. And he goes down to Oi, and he holds him in his hands, and he's like, I am so sorry. So sorry. And Oi dies. So now Roland is pretty much back where he started. Him, alone, on his quest for the Dark Tower. Except for Patrick. And Stephen King even makes allusions to the idea that Patrick could be spared because he was never part of the court of the quartet. Susanna is most likely spared because she left. She did the smart thing and she left. And that's pretty much where the section ends. I do have some questions, though. Patrick has this gift to draw and change things and change the world. Why doesn't Susanna ask him to draw her some new legs? And this one could possibly still happen. Why doesn't Roland ask him to draw him some new fingers? Those two people that have lost something, lost a physical part of their body, could be whole again. next video, we finish this beast. We are almost done, people. Do not quit on me now! If you like what I'm doing, go ahead and click the subscribe button. If you like this video specifically, go ahead and hit the like button. And go ahead and leave a comment letting me know exactly what you would want Patrick to draw for you. I've been Elliot the Purple Haired Doofus. This has been Buddy Reads, reminding you to watch a Pajama Radius. And I will see you all in the next and final section of The Dark Tower by Stephen King.